being in a suit and tie, but they don't really work well with road dirt, because I rode down here on a motorcycle. And there's a reason I rode down here on a motorcycle, so I drove my car. And it's because if you think about the recession we've been going through, if you really think back to the first thing that hit the working class American hard, it was when gas went up to $4 a gallon. When gas went up to $4 a gallon, people's payrolls their paychecks didn't get any bigger. And what did they do? They just rung it up on a credit card, right? Kept ringing it up on a credit card. They were living at the limits of pretty much their existence. Because when gas doubles in price, and you still have to get to work, you pay the price. And so once they were fully maxed out on their credit cards, what happened then? All of a sudden the fat cats in Washington and on Wall Street decided, oh yeah, we've been playing games with your money for years. We've been making money off of your money. You know what a credit default swap is? It's theft. Good answer. It's insurance. It's insurance. Like if you're going to go to Vegas, then you put money down so that you guarantee you will win. That's not how Vegas works. But that's how they thought they could work it on Wall Street, because our politicians weren't smart enough to write good regulation that separated consumer banks from investment banks from the insurance companies. Once we said, oh, you can all be the same, they started playing games with the money. And when they play games with the money, this is what happens. It all melts down. Now, we all heard people blame it on lending to people who couldn't afford it. Well, we've been living on borrowed money for a long time. We've been living on the spoils of World War II for a long time. We've got 2 wars going on. We've got a Congress where it's Democrat, Republican, and all of them, every last one of them, it took $1 million to run. Our district is very screwed up. The Republicans gerrymandered it and made it almost impossible for anybody to win without spending ungodly amounts of money. That is our core problem. And we've run candidate after candidate against Mike Turner and gotten nowhere, because we've tried to run the conventional candidate. I am not the conventional candidate.
Certainly not.
No. And I've been out on the campaign trail since day one of Mike Turner's career. I know Mike Turner inside and out. And there's nobody that makes Mike Turner more nervous to have in the room than David Esrati. Because David Esrati is the one who uncovered the slush fund that was paying off his wife on the no-bid contract on the Dayton Development Coalition. Was the one who uncovered the company called Cubase, which was getting donations, $1,000 from 17 people in 1 week who all worked at the same company, who was again a client of Turner's wife. This has got to stop. And it's not going to take money. It's going to take perseverance. It's going to take grassroots support. It's going to take somebody who understands the web and can get the message out cost effectively. Now, there are 3 candidates running in this special, expensive primary. And the reason it's so expensive, again, is because of the gerrymandering. There are 3 candidates. One is a 25-year-old who nobody knows. Another is a TV personality, and that's great if you're Jesse Ventura or Arnold Schwarzenegger, but this is a local TV guy, and the paper pretty much dug a hole for him yesterday. And there's me. And I've run before. I've already got signs. I've got the website. I have 5 years worth of positions on my website. I have 1,000 readers a day hitting Esrati.com to read what goes on inside Dayton, Ohio. I am the only one that can go and even give it a shot at this late time in this bad situation. And even so, the Democratic Party has to get their act together. We have to start preparing candidates, multiple candidates, for every position. We need to start using those databases the way the Obama campaign did, and find all of our registered voters, give it the information to our precinct captains. I've already set that up on my website. I am ready to go. I am fired up, and Mike Turner and I do not get along, And if I go to D.C., I guarantee you, number one, no special interest money, no donations from corporations. Number two, I'm going to put a stop to the idea that we have a privileged class in this country called a CEO who can get paid millions while laying off American workers, while sending jobs overseas, and while shutting down factories that employ Americans.
Tax credits for it, too.
It's got to stop. We have to put Americans back to work. We have to do that right now. We don't have time for them to figure these things out. While Mike Turner is sitting there still arguing about earmarks for the base, people are losing their homes. We're seeing the greatest shift of money from the poor to the rich of all time. If this is allowed to continue, there will only be three kinds of people in this country. Three. I'm almost done. The very rich, the very poor, and the government employee, and that is it. That has to stop. My name is David Esrati, and I'm asking for every one of you. I know all of you don't live within Ohio 3, but every one of you to get out and find those progressive Dems, talk to them, get them to send $5, $10, get them to volunteer on phone banks, get them to get the vote out, to get the word out, because Mike Turner is as corrupt as they come.
Yes.
And if you don't believe it, go look at who's giving him money, because it's not the people of this district. So, with that, I'd like to thank you very much for having me here. This room is much nicer than the last one I was in. And it's nice to see things moving forward. And I'll be around for a little bit to talk if anyone has any questions. Thank you. Here's old man.
Make that motion to adjourn, Pat.
Yes.
That'll probably be 10%.